Joel's in town or if it's 10 a.m. on a Friday and not 9 a.m. on a Saturday. Wow. Or it's me. Let's just say it's me.
That is what it is, and I'm here really to introduce your new general manager and really congratulate Paula. Very well-deserved promotion. We had a lot of candidates come through, extensive backgrounds, but you start weighing, it's like, what are the options? We are a company that likes to promote from within, but it wasn't until, like, I've always spent time with Paula, but when I sat down and she expressed interest in the position and went through her ideas and her approach, and I was just so impressed. It was non-decision at that point. I called my boss and I'm like, yeah, we're done. So. I really look forward to her contributions, and I'm always happy with the people that got us where we are today, but definitely think Paula's the person that's going to get us to where we need to be tomorrow. So I'm excited to work with her and keep coming up here and see all the familiar faces. I'll be around all day tomorrow too. If anybody would like to sit down or talk or have any suggestions or feedback, happy to hear it. I already got an earful on starting breakfast, so we're going to run through the options. Yeah. I'm sorry. My name is Joel. I'm the area director with Blue Star Resort and Golf. Been with the company 17 years in February. Started at Trilogy Rio Vista and went over open Trilogy at the Vineyards in Northern California. And then recently, this last January, I relocated to open Trilogy Sunstone in Las Vegas, the new one. But I oversee Washington, Northern California, and Nevada, those communities.
Thank you, Joel.
I feel like I'm, on stage. Thank you. I'll be here all week. I won't be here all day tomorrow. You always find me sitting in the living room. I try to stay as close to the fire as I can.
Yes. He's not used to this Washington weather that we brought him up to. So I'm going to bring up Leslie. I'm very excited to be joined by some of our lovely leadership team today. And so we are going to feature everyone during today's Summiteer Live. So this is Leslie, for those of you who don't know Leslie. Thank you. Leslie is our food and beverage manager. She's been doing fantastic at the Mantle, and we're so excited to have her join us today. And she's going to talk about our event review of Painting with Bethany.
Perfect. So last night, Bethany came in and she taught, it was about 22 members, how to paint a lovely Christmas scene. Everyone had a great time. We offered drink service. I saw margaritas going out, all different types of wine, root beer, you name it. They were enjoying it. And then everyone enjoyed a good little laugh. I know that there were a couple first-time painters. They were worried that their art wasn't up to par, and I just kept reminding them it's all in the eye of the beholder. So if you're looking for something fun to do, I believe Bethany does this about every couple of months.
Mm-hmm. Once a quarter.
Once a quarter or so once every 3 months. Thank you. So yeah, if you'd ever want to just kind of paint something, have some fun, hang out with your neighbors, it's always a great time.
And if you ever want a really good laugh, you can come by the office and see the abstract art that I did on our last creative class.
Paula has many strengths. Many strengths.
Painting's not one of them. No. Thanks, Leslie. So One Day University, one quick thing is I got a couple emails that there were some glitches with One Day University this week, and so I reached out to their manager, and they said that they were aware of the issues. There was something with sending the broadcast live at the correct time, so they do extend their apologies, but it looks like it's been remedied now. So we should be back to our normal routine with One Day University, but thank you to everyone who reached out to let me know, because we're not always able to jump on. So when you call or email, that's how we know something's not quite right. So thank you. Coming up, pardon? Yes, so I have your email looking for the one for Vietnam, I think it was. Yes, and the comedy one. I've requested links and I've yet to get them. But sometimes they're able to release recordings. I think it's up to the professor who's teaching the series. But if I get those, I'm happy to post them and send them to everyone. So coming up this week on the 21st, we have 5 things you probably didn't know about Ben Franklin. I don't know. That's a lot less than I know, so you never know. And the 23rd, the musicals of, somebody help me, Thank Les. I knew it was going to be you. Thank you, Les. Appreciate it. And on the 25th, Andrew Carnegie, Gilded Age Titan. So some good ones coming up this week. And then I will be booking our December schedule and posting that soon as well, because it's already almost that time.
I'm going to interrupt for
Yes,
quick.
ma'am.
We are getting some calls letting us know that we are not live streaming.
I'm on the link.
Has anybody joined? For those of you who were here last week, I feel like my lack of technology last week might have rubbed off on Paula this week.
Maybe, but I am recording it, so.
And I actually was able to live stream last week.
Oh, that's because there's not a link in here. It's 3.
Am I running to the office and adding it to that?
Yep.
Okay.
Copying this one from last week. Thank you. It's also being recorded, so the show will go on. Perfect. Gate to gate update. We are almost to the end of November. Exciting update. As a local community, we have raised 233% of our fundraising goal. So fantastic job so far. Again, this year we're doing it a little bit different, where we are doing a fundraiser for St. Jude's Hospital. And so for those of you who've contributed, we have some great sling backpacks that you can pick up from the concierge desk. We do have our weekly walks that Fawn is offering every Saturday, and then we will have our closing walk on the last of the month. So be sure to come out for that. We'll have some light refreshments afterwards to help us celebrate, and thank all of you amazing members for helping to contribute to this wonderful cause. Yes, Les.
We have a lot of families coming in for Thanksgiving, a lot of them kids,
Mhm.
they welcome on the walk.
Of course. Yes, of course. December Fitness is posted. So I checked this morning. There's still spots available. It was posted last night. There you go. It was posted last night. Yes.
I looked this morning as soon as I saw that December was available. All the TRX classes are full.
TRX fills up very quickly. I will say Robert installed 2 new anchors to add more straps, which is exciting.
We need more classes.
Yep, I know.
And it's not fair that whoever is booking them immediately is booking it all. Some of us, I can only get it if someone cancels out the last minute.
I know. Fitness is always hard, and it's hard when we have something like TRX where there's a certain amount of straps that we can have in flow. We are working with our instructor to see if we can offer additional classes, but we do have to work with all of our fitness teams' lives and their other schedules as well. So it's not as easy as just saying we can add more as much as I wish, but we are working on it.
Melanie says she would teach another class.
Perfect. Great. Sounds good. Yes, Steve.
This is probably, this is a big issue. Getting sold out. Within 24 hours. I went out this morning, almost all of them.
Yeah, it fills up very quickly.
So there's something that, this is another discussion I think that, I don't know, if we don't have time to do it today, but I think it's worth having a community discussion about how it would be a little bit more fair about making classes. Or and I won't, nobody will love me for this. Eliminate the pass.
Yes.
Well, the fitness pass doesn't give advanced access.
No. But you can, anybody, take a look at the schedule. Anybody who's scheduling 9 or more classes a week, the club's losing money.
We can look into it. I know a lot of the members do enjoy having that pass, so it's nothing that I can just wave my magic wand and change, but I do appreciate the feedback, and I definitely hear the feedback. I know the fitness schedule is always a hot topic, and it's one that we're always working on, like I said, with our instructors to try and add more classes. It's also a multi-purpose room. It's also our ceramics room and a member-led club space. So there's a lot of members that we work with for that space. So I do hear you, and I appreciate your feedback, and it's something that we are constantly looking and working on.
Hence, we need more space.
Yeah, we need more space. Short point, I heard you're gonna put in another pickleball court fabulous. But we've got great space outside the multi-purpose room. Just extend out to the patio, even just a roof, right? Something, and maybe drop down size. You could double the size of your classes.
There, you know, we did put a little thing in the announcement, like things are being considered. But right now they are in the process. I'm very fortunate to have somebody like Robert here too.
Yeah.
We're basically saying, get preliminary numbers. What is it going to cost to do all these things? We've been listening to feedback and suggestions for a very long time. So down there, from large requests to expanding rooms to simple things. So some of the simple things are easy fixes. Some things that people think are simple are not as easy as they think, but we will be evaluating those, getting final stuff, and then we'll probably go back to the community one last time and get a little more feedback on which would be supported. But everything's being considered as been suggested.
Perfect. Thank you, Joel.
Thank you.
New menu. The Mantle debuted their new seasonal menu on Wednesday. The Rocket Bird is back, which was, I heard, sold, I think, 5 on Wednesday, which is very exciting. The Rocket Bird was from 2 or 3 menus ago, and we had lots of requests to bring it back. So we were happy to bring it back for a nice spicy treat just in time for all of this chilly weather that we are encountering here. Some other items to highlight are the blackened cod tacos, the chicken quesadilla, which I was very excited about. We used to have a steak quesadilla that was phenomenal. But lots of great new things on the menu, so please feel free to come out and try them. Lots of diversity on there, new and exciting things. Has anyone tried any fan favorites so far?
Was there an announcement that it was live for your menu?
We did a soft launch on Wednesday, and then the menu's officially getting posted. Yep.
Speaking of menus, I was looking up your weekly specials. I couldn't find it anywhere online. Is there a weekly special?
Not when the first week of the new menu.
Okay. Good to know.
Perfect. Facility update. I'm going to bring up our lovely facility manager, Robert.
Good morning.
Lots going on in the building and on the property, so I wanted to make sure that we brought Robert back a chance to talk about all of the items.
So a lot of hot discussion on the hot tub.
No pun intended.
It's not hot, but we are waiting for a check valve for basically the igniter on there. The pump is actually under warranty. So it's a warranted item. It's just like a $75 item, but it takes time to get here. The supply chain's kind of messed up with Hayward right now, and basically we're just waiting for it to arrive. I called them yesterday to check on that. It's still hasn't arrived. They did say that it should be here possibly on Monday. And while I was on the phone with them, I told them, how about we just go ahead and order another one, just in case. So we do have that critical part in case it breaks down again. So as soon as that arrives, they're on standby to come and install that part for us. But really, if I could go and get it myself, I would. But we just can't install it. One is currently out of service for a shorter period of time. I ordered the parts for it yesterday after I tried to contact a company and I was constantly calling them and there was no answer. So I just went ahead and ordered that part, and I'm going to install it myself. So as soon as that arrives, that will be installed. It's a real quick installation. It's just a matter of calibrating the temperature after that to ensure that it's firing the porcelain or whatever ceramics we're working on. I also ordered another one of those, so we have 2 of those. So we'll have that on standby, so it won't be down for a very long time after that because I know how to do it. So. As you guys have seen, the stream is not running. We had a catastrophic failure with a sump pump, which flooded the entire room. So all the electronics in that room are failed. So I had an electrician come out on Tuesday to give me a bid on that. I'm still waiting for the numbers on that. It's probably going to be a pretty hefty little ticket, but
Will the insurance cover that since it's sub pump failure?
no, and the sump pump is not part of like a build, the building.
Oh,
So,
'cause I've had a sub pump going and
yeah, and it's an outdoor pump. It's not part of the building. So, but we did do an electrical. We had an electrical all the electronics in there. They are gone. We came up with a plan to ensure that it doesn't happen again. We're gonna add lights, a red and green light, so if the pumps go down.
The holidays all the time.
Yes, always. So if it's all green all the time, then we know that the pumps are functioning. And then we're also gonna add an alarm to the sump pump so that if it does fail again, the alarm will sound outside the 15-foot hole that's in the ground that where we service the pumps, and back up the sump pump. So all these things we're going to make sure that doesn't happen again. And I'm still waiting on the bid back for the motors because they were all submerged. So.
Is that related to cold weather?
What happened is we had a power failure, and during the time that we lost power, the sump pump stopped, and it gave it enough time to corrode to a point where it couldn't turn anymore. And with that thing, there's a O-ring that goes around the pipes, and that expands and contracts depending on the weather. And it actually expanded, and it started to leak a little bit. It was just enough to fill the vault with water. And just the funny thing is, 4 weeks ago, I actually checked the vault, and it was the driest I've ever seen it. Because it's always kind of, leaking a little bit because it's underground, and you get groundwater and stuff. It was drier than I've ever seen it. And then because of the power outage, we have to reset the pump and have the stream start again, and get the pump actually running. We have to prime the pump to get it to start going again. So I was going to go down there and prime it, and I open it, and there it is.
Surprise!
My little cold pool. So that's the update on that. If by all means, if you guys ever have any questions about any of the things that aren't functioning, or you have a question of light bulbs out or whatever, by all means, bring it to my attention. And my goal is within 24 hours. I can't always do that, obviously, but that's my personal goal, to try to address all the issues right away so that you guys are up to date. Because, like I've always said, I want this to be a 5-star resort and make everything function for you.
And Robert, what's your exciting news?
What's that?
Scott.
Oh yeah, I have a new porter on board. You'll see him walking around. And today's his 3rd day. He's doing great. And
he's fantastic.
It's a young guy that really enjoys keeping the facility looking great. So, Scott.
And we love Chris.
Yeah.
Yeah, Chris is on vacation.
Chris
He'll be
is
back.
out on vacation. So, but that's all I have for you. Again, if you need anything, just feel free to contact me anytime. And be happy to answer all of your questions.
Be sure you tell Scott hi. Yes. Robert introduced him to
Babes and Dudes.
Water Babes and Dudes, I think it was, and everyone just raved about him. So be sure to give him a nice warm welcome. Yeah, good. Thank you, Robert. Tomorrow's the big day. Tomorrow is our holiday marketplace. This is an annual tradition here at the Lodge, and we're very excited to have it again. Our VIP hour is sold out, but just a reminder that it is open to everyone from 11 to 2 p.m. So feel free to come on out. All of the vendors are responsible for their own cash exchange. So some accept cards, some accept cash. So they be sure to have both available for them. But we're excited for this. The members are very excited. There's things from pottery and ceramics. There's handmade jewelry. There's lovely goods that will be there, holiday cards, lots of great things this year. So be sure to come on out and support your fellow members with that. And get some shopping done, because why not? We have massages coming up with Jenny on the 27th. Appointments are still available. They are ranging from 10 to 1:30. These are $65. Wonderful time to come and de-stress right around the holidays. Do some deep breathing, do some self-care. Self-care is not selfish. So make sure we're taking care of ourselves, especially as we start to get busy. And we're gonna have some fun. We're going back to the T-Birds. For those of you who have not heard me rave about the T-Birds, I adore them because they are young, they are scrappy, and they play good hockey. And there's usually a really great fight. Yeah, so it's a fun one. So we still have tickets available. This will be December 3rd. They're $20, and everyone who purchases a ticket is entered into a drawing to win a gift card to the Thunderbirds team shop, which is at thank you, Showwear. They have some great gear, good beanies and things for this cold weather. So looking forward to this one.
Paul, I remember that one is also the teddy bear toss or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Whatever it's called.
Yes, thank you, Leslie. Teddy bear toss, so BYOB, bear. Bring your own teddy bear. We get to toss them onto the field, and then they get collected by the players and then donated to children in need. So it's a fun annual tradition that the Thunderbirds do every year, and teddy bears literally fly from all around you. So it's a fun time. Dino, you want to come talk about Santa Brunch?
Yeah, we have our annual Santa Brunch. We are bringing back Santa Dave from Santa Jean from last year because I honestly thought he was the real one. You know, very similar. So we do like to do a lot of action stations with this where we're cooking in front of you. So we'll have our usual omelet station, made to order, and then for dessert we're gonna have an action station as well with crepes with sweet custard, lemon custard filling or berry filling, so like a dessert type crepes. And then that's about it. Some sausage, bacon, the usual stuff. Maple sticky buns, so kind of like that, but with a buttery orange sauce. And, so hopefully everyone tried a cinnamon roll there. And then that's it. It's adults are 35, kids are 15, and 9 a.m. and 11 a.m.
Yep. Okay. 2 seatings, 9 a.m. and 11 a.m. And the concierge can help you make reservations if you'd like one. Thanks, Tina. New Year's Eve is up and ready. Our theme this year is all that glitters because New Year's Eve, and why not put on some sparkles and enjoy it. We have a DJ, we have a professional photo booth, we have our fantastic ice luge. For those of you who have not done a New Year's Eve with us, we do a signature cocktail in a giant ice luge that sounds kind of silly, but it's really cool. And it's a fun tradition that we do, and then the team really enjoys it because we may or may not toss it into the pond at the end of the day, which Robert loves. Last year it was frozen, so it didn't go so well, but that's okay. So be sure to get your tickets for this. We were able to open up additional spots, so there are tickets available. It's going to be a fun one. This is a fun tradition that we have here at the lodge, so feel free to come on out to this one. We will have wristbands this year to help expedite the check-in process. It is cold outside on December 31st, and we know that. So starting that week, for those who are registered, you can come and pick up a wristband. So then that way, when we're checking you in outside, got my wristband, and then you can just go on in. So rather than having to stand in the cold, we expedite the process that way. And once you're in, if it doesn't complement your outfit, you can put it in the trash. That was some feedback I heard last year. So just get in the door, and then you can go back to your normal outfit if you wish. It is glittery, Sandy Peace. It's very glittery. It's going to be great. So yes, New Year's Eve this year, the lodge closes at 3 p.m. on New Year's Day because this is a full lodge event. And so we transform the entire space in 6 hours. So the lodge will close at 3, and then we reopen for our event at 9. Please be mindful, doors are at 9. Doors are at 9. Not 8:30, not 8:04. Yeah, not 7. Doors are at 9. But we will be here ready to party at 9. Toys for Tots. many of you have already been donating. Thank you. We have collection boxes out in the grand living room. We've partnered again with Toys for Tots. They're collecting new and unwrapped toys. We will have those available until December 8th. And then we've partnered with Rescue Rooter this year. So they are a chosen partner for Toys for Tots. So they will be coming by to pick up the boxes. So feel free to bring anything by through the 8th. MTL Trip of the Week. I'm going to show you guys a handy dandy tip for navigating MTL. So one thing that we hear a lot is it's sometimes hard to get into events, or how do you know when things are posted? And the number one trick that I can tell everyone, that I always say in MTL 101, and everyone's brains go, so I thought I'd share it with all of you. When you log into your MTL account, if you click on events, this is a whole lot of information, and I know it's a whole lot of information because I'm the one who puts it there. So I know it can be kind of overwhelming. So the number one trick that I can tell you to make sure that you don't miss things is to click on this handy dandy button here where it says new events. And this will take you to things that have been posted within the last 72 hours. So rather than having to traipse through week by week or go through the calendar view, this gets rid of everything else and just highlights those things. And instead of having to scroll through the weeks, if you hit this calendar button here for calendar view, it will take you to the month as a whole. So that will show you everything that's been posted within the last 72 hours. It's a very handy trick. It's a good way, just when you get up, just check that. It's the best way to make sure that you're not missing new things when they're posted. Yes?
Can you click on the event and it'll take you to
Yep. So if you click on beginner's yoga, for example, it will take you to the event where you can then register. Mine doesn't have a register button because I'm the one who creates it, but usually there's a register button for you. See? Thanks, Larry.
TRX.
I didn't choose TRX. Let's see if I can remember all of my skills there. Oh, my family photo. Yeah. We'll go at it at the end. I could talk about them all day. The last thing, we do have Thanksgiving coming up. Just a reminder for everyone, the lodge is open from 6 a.m. to 3 p.m. So pool is open, the gym is available. We have a couple of pop-up fitness classes. It's not our normal schedule that day, but some of the trainers are going to be offering a special turkey burn class and things like that. So those are posted. And then the mantle is open for their Thanksgiving buffet, but not normal service. So feel free to come and join us during the day. We'll be here if you want to get a workout in or just have a morning cup of coffee before you start your festivities for the day. And of course, a happy Thanksgiving to everyone if we don't see you on the actual day itself. About that, yes.
Can I make an announcement?
Please do.
I'm Ron Ryle, Chair of Trilogy Service. In case you haven't checked your email, we just did an email blast about our current campaign. It's to get gift cards for families that need it. We're designated 4 different organizations that provide different types of things. And all we need you to do is just go to Target, Walmart, or Fred Meyer's, get a $25 gift certificate, 1, 2, 3, or 4. And then the information in the email is where to drop them off. So it's Saturday after Thanksgiving, you drop them off at one of the members' house, and then the following week, the other member's house. So you get an opportunity to play Santa for people who don't exactly have this type of resources that we need. So we encourage you to buy at least 1, 2, or 3 and make a happy Christmas for somebody else. So thank you.
Okay. Any other questions? Billy?
I have a question. I have an announcement.
Oh.
Did you already know? Paula hasn't posted it yet, and I see some of you that play pickleball, some of you that maybe would like to play pickleball. But we're going to have a meeting, a general pickleball meeting to invite everybody that wants to play pickleball, that wants to become involved. We need more people involved in the steering committee. So please come out if you're interested in the meeting sometime in the first 2 weeks in December.
Gordon and I are picking the date, and then once we have the date, we'll get it posted. And you can use that new events tab, and you'll be able to see it. Thank you, Billy. Yes, Les.
Theater Lovers Club. I'm the administrator of it.
It's very bright.
And please go on to the MTL, the club's page. There are 4 tiles there at the time for the Theater Lovers Club. We have 5 events coming up in December alone. Go into the theater or the Readers Theater. It's a lot of fun. Please join us. Thank you.
Thanks, Les. Any questions? Yes.
Just to, there was another, Joel alluded to that talk about changing the space up or whatever. Can you expand more on that? And also, the email said you were going to add more pickleball courts. We want to know where.
Oh, sorry, I couldn't hear the first part.
The space.
What the talk is about changing the space up to.
Again, we've taken all the feedback over the years and looking at other clubs and what's trending and what's popular. Pickleball always seems to be the number one. That's why that was mentioned. But they did have a surveyor come out to look at possibly moving because we have to maintain kind of parking, but keeping pickleball together and expanding parking kind of this way, I think is what they were looking at. The rest of it is all the club spaces. It's, people mention the gym, that's the problem. It's everybody has like their one thing that they absolutely want, but we're looking pretty much at everything. So whether it's patio enclosures, there's some back of house stuff. I mean, this is probably the smallest kitchen I've ever seen. So in order to serve the members, we were looking at moving the walk-in outside to the building and increasing the line, which would be incredibly helpful. But they are looking at everything, fitness, all the rooms. We're continually, poor Robert, I can't believe he's still here after seeing the pool. I think that's why Jason moved. Everything's on the table. Again, after we collect all the data to see what is possible and feasible, we probably will go out to the members again for a little more feedback, like, hey, if you had A or B, what would you take?
Okay. No dates for anything?
No, not yet. But Shane's kind of, they got, I don't know how many homes they have left to sell here.
Not many.
Two, so they're on their way out, and again, they're looking at what they can do to get up and get over to their new project. So it's not a 5-year plan, like it's something we're looking at this year. I mean, we've already been on site doing some of the research and measurements, and Robert's in the process of getting some other bids. And it's everything, down to obviously blinds over here maybe. Yeah. And in the living room, and again, there's a lot of little items and a lot of big items that we're not balancing.
Question over here?
It's one of the big items, pool, because it really needs something different than what's happening now.
Yeah, this year I think is the first year they really had it on a good preventative maintenance program, but every time we do that, it's some other part that's added. So, but we're always evaluating.
But even the annual maintenance that takes weeks and weeks and weeks, I'm in disbelief at how bad that pool environment is. And when we swim in it, the chlorine is so high. And the family swim, and then you have to pump the chlorine up. And how many family swims are there a week compared to people who actually live here?
I can speak to the chlorine level. The chlorine level was high probably about 4 months ago, maybe 5 months ago. But it's we've had Orca Pacific come out, and they did an adjustment to the chlorine level. We don't keep it. We only keep it at like a 3 out of the minimum is a 1.75. So right now it's only at a 3, and we consistently keep it at that based on your input, because we heard that hey, the chlorine has been high. So I had them do an analysis on the water, and they concurred. It was slightly elevated. It wasn't beyond what we were allowed to have it, but it was at a significantly higher level than it is now. So, but we have had that resolved. And as far as the mechanical part of the pool, this last time we were down for 19 days, which is really fast turnaround. Even other pools that I've looked at, like the Y, for annual maintenance, are down for 2 weeks without a pool like this. So if we can get it in that range, which I truly believe we can, keep it within 19 days or so, it's consistent with other pools, because they all pools have to have annual maintenance, because they have to do the cleaning, they have to make sure all the equipment's running properly, and make sure they have the parts. Because otherwise they'll break down. And we have ordered additional parts like motors and things like that, to keep everything going. But sometimes you get those one-offs, and because of the supply chain the way it is right now, it's difficult to get those parts. So we are always looking for ways to reduce the downtime of the pool and the spa. But it's like a car, you have to change the oil in it.
But this is not a car that most people would have.
Yeah, this is a Maserati.
The cost associated with that car, another question that I have for Joel, as you're looking at what's going on and what our overhead is for running this pool that isn't very efficient in the first place versus more space that we need for entertainment or gatherings, and it's going up and down and things are breaking, and I'm not saying Robert isn't doing a fantastic job, but the whole situation from the beginning I think was a mistake in finding this kind of pool. Are you looking at how you can remedy that in the future?
We're always looking at it. I think everybody agrees this was like, if we could do it all over, I don't think anybody would go this route.
Right.
We keep seeing there's so many parts that it looks like it was bought at IKEA. It's like everything's going wrong. It's continually being evaluated. But this whole package that the owners are looking at, there's got to be give and take in way. Like, they don't want to put everything and say, hey, let's just solve this one problem, but we can't do anything else now. But it is on there. It is part of it, and we're always looking at options.
Just get a dedicated entity.
I know.
Question in the back?
Then we can't adjust it if we do get a dedicated pool. Then we can't adjust it for water law. We can't adjust it for
Don't adjust it.
There's a lot of different adjustments that we do for different.
4.5.
Yeah.
I don't care.
There's a lot of opinions.
Yeah.
I just gotta say it, and I remark about it, and, if you just build another banquet room. For exercise classes, fit more people, it can be used for your special events when you have outside people that are having weddings or whatever. It's such a multi-purpose room, and then you don't have to deal with on the floor. And we don't have to raise. Oh, you can't have it all the time. Yeah, you have more. It just seems a banquet. To me, also, I just think it's the easiest.
Again, we haven't come up with a final package, but everything is being evaluated.
Yes, Steve.
This is launch, and you may want to think about partnering with Holiday, like with their new space that they just built in Discovery Park.
Yeah.
That will be available. Wesley, I think, has space. I mean, for some, maybe some smaller events, something where we could partner with them to, use an already existing space.
Definitely. Good one.
So Joel, the impression I got from the letter was that Shay is still staying on an open property.
Correct.
What are the ramifications and when should it say, we're done? We've completed all our projects here, we're going away, we're going to go somewhere else. Who's going to step in? HOA step in, what's the owner?
It could be anything. They don't, Shea is a company, I don't talk about Trilogy, the Shea family, they really take pride in their projects and the work they do. And I hear, like, hey, my name's on that building, I want to make sure it stays the way we intended it and the commitment we have as a member. So I don't think they have any intention of selling at this point. But if it was something down the road, I've seen private clubs that are sold to either, they could sell it to Blue Star, they could sell it to the HOA, they could do a variety of things. But it would always be to make sure they maintain the intent of the
So in general, most of their property, they've stayed around, stuck around, and been there for.
Continue to. I mean, I hate to say it, John Shea, unfortunately, one of the most amazing people I've ever met. He passed away recently, but this guy, talk about a nice individual. I share this story with everybody I talk to. He had come up to the vineyards once where I was, and he walked up and all the Shea executives were there lined up to meet him, and he looked at him, just ignored him, got in his team, and he walked over to my spa to thank the spa attendant for doing such a great job. He was such a nice man, and he would go to Trilogy Boutique, which they haven't sold a house there in 14, 15 years. And he went in and said, hey, my name's on that building, I want that fixed. You know, so he would still do that kind of stuff. He was really, and that's what they do with the rest of it. And the rest of the family feels the same.
So you guys feel pretty strong about it?
We do.
And what's our joy like having we start here?
We want to manage it forever, trust me. Paul calls it job security. Robert calls the pool job security.
Thank you.
Sure.
Shay pays for all of that, so when they do, because, you know, we don't own it, so Shay pays for all that, the additions and all that, am I correct?
Correct. So in the dues, we have a budget we have to work within. Typically in there, we have repairs and maintenance. This isn't an HOA. In an HOA, they normally have a reserve study. So the reserve study is a contribution to ensure that we have enough money to keep the club in the same state as it gets older and replace key components and carpets and things like that. Here it's done a little differently. We just take a percentage of revenues that go into that account. Anything that's an additional amenity is called an owner's expense, and it's not on the club budget. That's on their budget. Yeah. So the owners have, however they set it up to say, hey, at some point, should we look at expanding this, fixing this, doing this?
Yeah, because they can't assess us, I know that, because we're not owners. So
correct.
In order to fund that, then, do they, you know, raise the membership rates eventually, or how do they?
For the improvements, this is a separate Shay budget. However they had set it up or whatever they had planned on doing.
So it doesn't affect the members at all?
No, not the additional, expanding any existing facilities is all on them, should they choose to do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have an announcement, if I may. My son-in-law is Adam. He is the birder extraordinaire of Tahali. And if any of you have gone on his bird walks, you know what I mean. He's offering another bird walk. We'll meet at the lodge parking lot the Saturday following Thanksgiving. Family members are invited. Little ones, okay, fire dogs maybe. But please come. He wants to know, is 9 o'clock too early? Do we think it's going to be too cold at 9?
It's always
going to put it in the Tahali Birders page on Facebook. And if you're not a member of Tahali Birders and you want to look them up, and we'll let you in so you get first word of these bird walks. We'd like to have them once a month. Bring your own binoculars that you have on, otherwise we'll swap some on.
Fun.
So 9 o'clock Saturday following Turkey Day.
Fun.
Hope to see somebody there.
Yes, Kathy.
Is there a new trilogy going in up the hill?
It's a Shay Homes has purchased land, and it is going to be a boutique trilogy experience is their branded name for it.
The thing funny about that is they say 1,000 houses are under. We only have 855. So doesn't that kind of qualify us for boutique?
No, I don't know where it was saying that.
Yeah.
They're doing about 5 of these now across the country. And these communities are typically smaller, like 300, 400.
Okay.
So typically, but that's, I think, a standalone. They changed the name so many times, I don't even remember what it's called.
Okay.
Yeah, the calls are always funny when they're talking about it.
Clubhouse, no clubhouse.
Nothing like this. You know, their new boutique plan is still being reviewed, but it has a very, it's more like a lounge concept, like like an ambassador club at the airport. You know, it's going to have a restaurant, but a very limited menu, small fitness footprint, more just gathering place, no event center or anything like that.
And reciprocity between the two?
It's not set up for that now, unless there were dining memberships here that we stopped selling and sold to them instead of somebody else, but there's nothing like that. Other than, you know, I think, you know, partnering, like it was suggested with other local places, we would probably do the same thing. After you see what it's going to be.
Any timing on when that new trilogy can be started?
I won't know.
Any other questions? Yes, sir. That's a great question I'd like to know as well. Yes, sir.
Is there any change going to be implemented regarding associate members of the restaurant?
Regarding dining members?
That's correct, yeah.
So like Joel was saying, one option that may be there that is nothing is decided is for the new trilogy development, rather than selling dining memberships to non-trilogy members, it would be open to them, but nothing has been decided yet.
Have they thought about breakfast every Sunday off the menu?
We're actually discussing that right now internally. Dino, Leslie, and I have been chatting about it. looking at offering it every Sunday. There's just some details that we need to get in place before officially moving forward with that, but it is something that's been discussed. Any other questions? No? Good. Well, thank you everyone for coming.